Hey everybody, my name is Clint Heffern and this is my EDL 854 Module 1 for Building Finance. First off, a little bit about me, some demographic information. I'm originally from Iola, Kansas. I was born and raised there. It's where I went to high school. It's where a lot of my family's at still today. My first college, I attended Allen Community College, which is a JUCO in Iola, Kansas. So I stayed at home. And I actually played baseball and basketball there for 2 years. So stayed in Iola. From there, I went on to Pittsburgh, Kansas, and attended Pittsburgh State University. Graduated in there in 2017 with my undergrad. And after Pitt State, I started teaching at St. Mary's Colgan, which is a parochial school in Pittsburgh, Kansas as well. It's where I've been for the last 3 years. And then actually just recently, I accepted the head basketball coaching position at Fort Scott, Kansas, at the high school there. So making that transition now, and I will be at Fort Scott, which is only about 30 minutes from Pittsburgh, coming up next year. Some other information about myself, big time family guy. Like I said, my family's around, a lot of my family's still around Iola. I'm the middle child of 3 boys. I have an older brother, Chris, a younger brother, Clint. And my mom she's a middle school math teacher, was actually my middle school math teacher. Kind of one reason I stayed around education. I'm actually a new uncle. These are my 2 nieces right here. Mackenzie, who is the older one, which is about 2, and then the young one, just a couple weeks old. Her name's Sadie. So it's been a big part of our life here recently, and yeah, she brought us a lot of joy. So getting into the resources, these articles. First off, number 1 there, they talked about SBM, which was site-based management or school-based management, basically trying to allow principals or teachers into the financial budgeting process to allow those people that are directly dealing with the schools and what the schools need and have that knowledge. This allows them, enables them to have the power in the financials in delegating where the money goes, that type of stuff, because they are working directly with these schools. On the opposite side of that, centrally managed resources, these are like a district office or at the state level or whatever it is, not the principals that are dealing with the financials. And there's some positives to that. It's consistent, it's effective, very efficient. But unlike number 1, it does not allow the people that are directly working with the school the power to work with and make decisions on the finances. So kind of 2 different sides there that I extracted from these resources. Number 3, recent study showing that a worrying majority of principals and administrators lacked financial literacy and a basic knowledge of bookkeeping. So basically saying what I feel, that the financial side of being an administrator is going to be new to me, and I don't have a lot of training on it. It's going to be new to me. Number 4, with that, number 4 and 5 kind of work together. Income, budgeting, finances, you need to do that, review it, analyze it on a regular basis, just to know where the money's going, to know what the money looks like, to think about the future and planning for the future, and aligning the number 5 here, the budget and the income and all the financials. You have to align it with a lot of different requirements and regulations and rules, which gets into making it a really complicated matter. With that, there's a lot of complicated terminology as well. Some of this I'm a little bit familiar with, but there's a lot of different words like gross profit margin, net profit, assets and liabilities, net worth, quick ratio, cash flow. There's a lot of different financial terminology that I'm not exactly really comfortable with, but that definitely is a part of the financial process for budgeting and school budgeting as well. Moving on, number 7 here. Talked a lot about utilizing accounting tools and resources and apps and trying to delegate financial information, that type of stuff, to different people so that it's not all only falling on the principal or the administrator, which can be just be a lot of work for just one person. And also just have more than one set of eyes on it. Number 8, principals typically are treated like middle managers. They have little control over a big budget, which again makes it a complicated task. They have to meet those regulations and those rules, and it's a complicated task for principals. State legislatures, number 9, and district officials have substantial control over education dollars, how they are allocated, that type of stuff. So not necessarily all principals and administrators, but those state legislatures, they do have more control over that. Last one, and I've kind of already mentioned this, but principals' hands are tied on financials due to certain formulas where to try to control where the money's at and prevent problems with that. So again, it just makes the whole budgeting and financial process for administrators tough and difficult. So my principal, first off, we're a parochial school. We're not a public school, so we kind of have a different funding situation. We do get resources from the state level, but we are funded by the Diocese of Wichita, so that is a little bit different of a unique situation there. My principal's been very good about being open on getting the opinions of teachers and what they need, and maybe some money concerns. He's really open and listens to what the teachers who are directly working with the kids in the school have to say. I've had some conversations with him about finances, and basically he said he's had to learn a lot by doing, which is what I'm kind of thinking. I don't have a ton of knowledge with it, so I'll have to learn by doing. I do have some experience with requesting from the booster club athletic needs, so that's been a financial process that I've learned from being the junior high athletic director. My concerns for being an administrator are, like I just mentioned, I feel like I'm gonna have to learn a lot about the financials and budgeting and all that stuff just from doing it. And I don't want to, a lot of times when you learn by doing, you make mistakes, and financially, those mistakes can be really magnified. So I'm worried about learning by doing and making mistakes that can be big time mistakes. Also, the financial side of it takes a lot of time, with principals also being strapped with a lot of other demands. So yeah, and just like the articles mentioned, my last point here, with all the formulas and the requirements, the administrators' hands are kind of tied, which is, it's hard for them administrators to create substantial change and to do a lot of stuff if your hands are tied. So again, just another kind of concern. Here are the resources. Thanks for listening, guys, and I'm really excited about working with you in this class. Thank you.